Hello there, with the Acolyte fast approaching, let's talk about a variation of the lightsaber, the Lightwhip. Now the Lightwhip is exactly what it sounds like. It is a regular lightsaber until you flick a switch on the hilt and the blade turns into a whip, going from a static object to something more freeform. Now your first thought might be, wow, that is really dangerous and impractical to the user. And yes, it very much is dangerous, but it might not be as impractical as you might think. Now one of the most prominent characters in Legends in the EU to use a Lightwhip was Lumiya. And she used it to her advantage a lot as it caught a lot of people off guard. People were expecting a regular lightsaber, were often confused, and had to change their tactics really quickly and on the fly when they saw the unconventional Lightwhip in action. Imagine thinking you're about to go up against what is essentially just a normal sword, and all of a sudden it turns into a sizzling whip of pure light and energy. Suddenly you have to deal with a whole wide area of effect that this thing can cover. It can coil around your own saber and have it be yanked away from you. So yeah, the Lightwhip actually has a lot of utility. Vernestra Rwoh from the High Republic novels, and she is also set to appear in the Acolyte, mentions that she needed to be very, very careful when training with the Lightwhip so that she could control its movement properly and to not sever any of her own limbs. Now the Lightwhip first appeared in the Star Wars universe in the Star Wars issue 95, published in February 12th, 1985. So yeah, Lightwhips have been around for a long time. In the issue, the Dark Lady Lumiya, which I think was their way of saying Dark Lord of the Sith, but the feminine version, I don't know, it was the 80s. She wielded the Lightwhip and used it in a duel against Luke Skywalker. Now we've also seen the character Githany. She also wields a lightsaber Lightwhip variant, and we see this play out in the comic series Jedi vs. Sith, which came out in 2001. This character would also later appear in the Darth Bane trilogy of books, but only in the first one, I think, Path of Destruction. It's been a while since I've read them, so I can't quite remember. But yeah, she uses the Lightwhip and uses it to coil it around someone's leg and cut the leg off. So yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Another variation appears in the Star Wars Legacy comic books when a bounty hunter wields a Lightwhip to capture Ania Solo. Now this seems to be a lesser power version of the Lightwhip, as it doesn't actually sever anything. When it wraps around someone's hands, it more just sort of stings and burns them a little bit. But in the same issue, the Lightwhip is later used to fight against a lightsaber, so it still has some power to it. Now this run of comics was released around 2013-2014. So yeah, Lightwhips or lightsaber whips have been around for a long time. Now look, I'm not saying that you have to like the concept of a Lightwhip. I personally really do, because I love seeing variations on traditional lightsabers like staff sabers, crossguard sabers, dual phase sabers, lightsaber pikes. I like having these variations because they just feel a bit more fun, a little bit more, exciting, and the things that you can do with them, and it makes them a bit more unique and personal to the characters using them. Now look, in Star Wars at the moment, are we seeing a few too many people survive lightsaber encounters? Yeah, probably. I could get on board with that. If the context and story shows why they would survive that, yeah, I can get on board with that as well. But I do think it's happening a little bit too much, so I could see an argument in that case. What I don't like, however, is people going, oh, the Lightwhip breaks canon, oh, the Lightwhip is woke, which was something I saw on Twitter. I don't even know what that means. That person's not okay. Now look, if you don't like it, that's fine. I just hope that you keep the same energy when the thing that you hate in the Disney canon was also in the original or the EU canon, Legends canon, whatever you want to call it. I just hope you're not being a bit of a hypocrite and you only don't not like something once it enters the Disney canon. So yeah, Lightwhips, I think they're pretty cool, a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see them pop up in the Acolyte, which I cannot wait for. Also seeing a Wookiee with a lightsaber in live action. One of the things I've wanted to see since I was a kid. Very excited for that. So make sure you come back to the channel when the Acolyte post-show coverage starts in June 4th or 5th, I believe the show comes out here in Australia. So yeah, come back then and we'll talk more Star Wars. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. May the Force be with you. Always.